a second state of play, Square financials, and Game Pass Tuesday drop. You know what it is. We right back at it. Let's get to these topics. Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. And all right, so last week we got the Sony State of Play, and the State of Play, it was all right. If you were an Xbox dude looking for something to jump over, to jump ship, to go to PlayStation, you'd have probably gave the show a 4. But if you was a PlayStation dude trying to see exactly what you had coming out later on for the year, you'd have probably gave the show a 7 or 8. Being that I own a PlayStation, I gave the show a 4 as an Xbox dude, but that was parody. But what I really give it is probably a 7, because there was stuff there that intrigued me, but then there was stuff there that was on multiplat. So I won't be playing those games there. I will be playing those games elsewhere. But curiously, Rebirth wasn't there. Final Fantasy Rebirth was not there. And then at the end of the show, they was like, yo, next week we're going to have another State of Play. Fast forward to today, the 6:30, Eastern Standard Time, we got the new show. So if you want to go check that out, where Cog, myself, and Lord Attic on Attic Arena, we did the live show there. And it's a mixed bag, right? Because you have a State of Play just for one game. Makes no sense. You could put that game and the same footage, everything, at the tail end or at the beginning of the State of Play before. And you had this deep dive into this game, Rebirth. So if a lot of you people don't know, you haven't been following, remember Final Fantasy VII? Well, Square Enix went back and remade it. So they had it's called Final Fantasy VII Remake, right? And then this one is called Rebirth. And I forgot how many discs are supposed to be in the set. I think it's like 5 different chapters or something like that. And what makes this title unique is not only is it, the Japanese animation of it is not just, the old nostalgia feel for the game. They put a different spin on it. They added so many different complexities and layers to the game, which changes the game from its initial debut. It turns it into something that is more contemporary, more visually pleasing. And in the Rebirth, they showed a performance mode and a graphics mode. Now, I don't remember if I had a performance mode and a graphics mode in Remake. I got to double check. But they showed side by side, right? I like that. I like you showing me what is the difference between this mode and that mode. Performance mode, 60 frames per second. I like 60 frames per second. I think all consoles should strive to just be 60 frames per second, and or give the user the ability to choose between graphical or performance. I'm going to always choose performance because I believe performance is the best benchmark when you're playing games. More active, more snappy, more responsive performance. Just got to be. And graphically intense games look really good, but at the sacrifice, 30 frames, nah, I go with performance. But overall, I wish they wouldn't have waited a week. I wish they would have just took this segment, this to today, and put it in to last show. I would have gave it a higher score. But the game looks good. And if you're a Final Fantasy fan, they dropped the demo today. So that is, if you have a PlayStation, go out there and go do that. But if you think at some point in time that I'm supposed to take the boot off of Sony neck, hashtag no PlayStation 6, even though it seems like Microsoft seems to want to keep Kong around. I'm coming around to that thought process. I don't really like that thought process because I want Kong dead. And I believe that there's people in that building that definitely want him dead too. So, hey, hopefully I get a chance to win out. But in the event that I don't, I'm going to still keep my boot on your neck this whole generation. If you thought I was going to capitulate, if you thought I was going to grow a mustard heart, it's not going to happen. Try harder. You got to be better than this. Keeping with the Square topic, all right, you have Square Enix Holdings, which is their stock holdings company, which is doing an evaluation because their earning call is getting ready to come up to pass. And they're doing a top to bottom evaluation on the pipeline, on how they're delivering games, how the games for the mobile market is being quality assured. Same thing with a lot of their titles. A lot of their titles have underperformed, like a Final Fantasy 16, and they're looking at their overall strategy. What's stuck out to me is that they had a reveal of a conversation that they was going to have with the public, because they was going to announce in April, in spring, what their plans going forward was. And I find that kind of weird because so is Microsoft. Microsoft was supposed to have Sarah Bond come out in springtime to talk about the positioning of the companies going forward. What I've noticed is, and maybe a lot of people may say that I'm grabbing at straws, which I'm not, because if you look at where the stock market is going and you look at where companies is placing their monies and where their holdings are, besides the fact of consolidation and worrying about quality production, all of them is doing the same thing, and they're trying to mitigate loss, right? So the mitigation of loss goes to how much AAA titles cost in order for Square to make these AAA titles that is not bringing back the ROI that they expected. All right, so that's return on investment, and it's not hitting those initial goals. So maybe the strategy on putting it in one place is not a sound strategy. Maybe the strategy is to spread the title out. If you're third-party developer, then be a third-party developer. You know, they are a third-party developer acting under the guise of a first-party development studio, which can only be costly to the company if the beneficiary of said titles isn't giving you the return off of investment that you thought that you would get back from the initial investment into that ecosystem, which makes it for a terrible time, you know, for shareholders, because now you have to backpedal on your initial plans and your goals and what you thought you was going to do. So what this all translates to me is, if you looked at Final Fantasy Rebirth, at the end it told you on 5/29/2024 that title will no longer have exclusivity to the PlayStation platform. I believe they're going to have a couple of months, then after that they will be putting this game on PC, Xbox, wherever else that they can, in order to recoup those initial funds. So you still keep your so-called favorite partner, still keep them happy with getting them the initial release, and then you dissipate it, disseminate it out to everybody else afterwards in order to bring back the back end. I think it's a sound strategy. I thought Final Fantasy 16 was really decent for a game, not a Final Fantasy game. So, but Rebirth looks good, and I'm pretty sure that it will sell buckets. Same thing with Remake. They just want to keep that same level of quality throughout all their titles, and they want to streamline the process in which that they're bringing these titles to fruition with high quality. I don't think anybody can say that Square has been lacking quality. At least I can't say it. I thought, a lot of the titles that Square did bring forth showed high polish, high quality, and the ability to get across their culture to a Western world. So I think that transcends a lot of the shortcomings when you're trying to bring your culture across, and they do a really good job for it. You know, me personally, I think they're the crown jewel that's inside a PlayStation stable of third-party developers that develop exclusively for PlayStation, so it seems. So hopefully that trend changes and we move on to a more diverse portfolio from Square Enix going forward, because the shareholders is calling for it. The Square Enix H holdings. This was brought to you by Bloomberg. I saw it when it hit the desk, and I was just like, you know, that's something I'm gonna talk about, because we do have the state of play today, and that coincides perfectly with this new direction that Square is going in. And, you know, shout out to the new president, Cairo. He has shown a willingness to embrace Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer when he had him on stage. Showed a willingness to bring over Final Fantasy 14. I heard rumors of Final Fantasy 16. I heard other rumors of the remake and the rebirth and stuff like that coming over. So I do believe that now is the time for them to capitalize on the fandom of Square. Do it when you're at your height, when you drop Rebirth, and ride that wave all the way straight to the end of the year when you're getting out these high quality titles on mobile. It was just something fun to look at. The last topic is a topic that we always love on Tuesday, so let's get into that topic next. Okay, the final topic is the best topic. It's my topic that I love, because you know we love to try to play the Game Pass. You know what we do. Like, follow, subscribe, hit that, because I'm very piss poor at saying that stuff. But okay, so this is going to combine from last week until this week. Last week we had Go Mecha Ball. It's a twin shooter that it's leveled up. It reminds me of an old school shooter, and it's roguelike, and it's really fun. It's like a little cat, and it looks like a cat inside a ball. You get to roll around, pop out and shoot, and it's in like a mech. It's fun. It's different. And I love twin shooters, twin stick shooters. So that within itself is so much fun. Now to get on to Bro-Tato. Bro-Tato is probably one of my best new games that I've been playing that I found inside Game Pass. It's a roguelike game. You're a potato, and you get different personas of potatoes, and there's different stats and so many different weapons, but it feels like Robotron and another twin stick shooter that you're, in different avenues, just like shooting but the board is small, right? So the play screen is small. It's not like Vampire Survivor, which is vertical or horizontal, and you get to walk all around. Not this. Small screen, make it happen. But it's just so much fun, and it's so addicting. I'm just like super addicted to it. Persona 3 Reloaded. I think this was a PlayStation 3 title that got redone and redid and released on the Xbox Game Pass platform. I love the fact that it's there. I used to play Persona back in the days, so from what Attic is telling me, like the gameplay loop is still there and the stuff like that is still there, so it's pretty good if you're into Japanese RPG. I think this is a cell phone one. I don't know, to be honest with you. Attic can tell you a little bit more on it, but it's in Game Pass, and that's the dope thing about it. Anuchard looks like Zelda puzzler, like a back in the day Zelda puzzler, and it looks a little bit different. It has me intrigued. It has me wanting to find out more about it. So I downloaded it before I started doing this video. So after this video, I'm going to get a chance to check it out and see what it's about, and if it's something that, you know, piques my interest. And then the last title that came out was Train Sim City, I believe, and I'm not into building train sets. I'm just not into it. That's just not my thing. I know for a lot of people, they love this stuff, just like Sim City. So this stuff works. If it works for you, that's what's up. But this is the part in the video when you throw the catchphrase there, you know what it is. Try to play the Game Pass.